All right, so I'm going to go back just one slide. Everyone's on the Pear Deck. All right. So gesture drawing, all about drawing the human figure. So we started some of this yesterday. We were talking about that line of action. And we wrote that down on our worksheets. The line of action is an imaginary line that you can draw along the figure's pose. That line of action expresses the movement of the pose, like the way that your figure is twisted. Now, we use this when we're drawing realistic people from life or from photos. And a lot of you that are into drawing cartoons and characters, animation, you might have noticed that a lot of animators like to use this too, because it helps you really see that movement in the figure. Especially if you got like a comic where you've got people jumping and superheroes like flying in the sky. So the line of action is just a way across all kinds of figure drawing to show that movement of the pose. So when you begin drawing the human figure, you want to start with that line of action. Now, everyone does a little differently, but a good way to start is by kind of outlining where your head is, so kind of like an oval, and then using that line of action as a way to plot how your person is standing or moving. If they're jumping, you can kind of see that direction that they're looking or the way that they're turned. And then when we go from there, we go on to gesture drawing. And that's kind of like what we were doing with our figure study yesterday, looking at the angle of the hips and the shoulders and starting to plot all the rest of those shapes onto the body. Now here's just a little sketch I did in Google Slides. Took a long time, okay? So, yeah. So when I start looking at a photo, I want to just give it some looking time. Spend time looking at the pose. Where are the angles? Where is the head? And how does the body kind of flow in that line of action? So when I drew this, I looked for the head, kind of like an oval shape in the line of action. Then you want to go and start drawing the lines of movement for the shoulders, hips, and limbs. So I started with that one main line of action, and then I drew another red line to show where this leg is. And then you've got the arms doing their own thing, and that's represented by the green lines. Then we have these blue lines here of the shoulders and the hips. And once you have all that kind of drawn in, you can start to put all of these other little shapes around it. Notice those circles where the joints are, and the arms, and the legs. All right. Now, this is your turn. What you're going to do, go to your slide, open up the brush or the pencil, and I want you to try now, putting a circle for the head and the line for that line of action on all three figures. Outline where the head is and draw that line of action. Okay, another minute or two here. Now I can pull up all your drawings. Hope you're proud of whatever you put on that slide. What are you doing? Okay. Ooh, nice. Wow, you really went there. I see that line of action here, right? I would like to see circle on the head. That's okay. Ooh, you went all out. There's those the lines of movement where the hips and the shoulders are. Very nice. Okay. Almost there with this lady. Oh, whose is it? Go, do it. Okay. Nice. Really seeing that line of action that goes all the way through the body. And then I see that you've put in some lines here for the arms. Now notice how different all three poses are. I mean, this lady, she's just sitting there too, but we still want to have that line of action that's showing us like the placement of the body and where we can start to plot all of those other body parts and points. Very nice. Well done, you guys. I'm gonna scroll through all these. Everyone gets their time to shine. Very nice. All right. Oh, that's okay. Well done. All right, so gesture drawing. I want everyone to now turn to your sketchbook. We're going to write this definition down. So open up to the next page in your sketchbook. Write this definition just at the top, okay? We're going to draw below it. We want to have the word and the definition up here. Leave yourself room for some drawings at the bottom. Number 10, right on the 9. It'll be page 10. Or just right after your figures. So gesture drawing. Everyone's writing this down in their sketchbook. Gesture drawing is a loose form of sketching that attempts to capture your subject's basic form and express movement. Gesture drawing. So we just had a little practice doing that. Looking for the line of action. And then starting to plot all those limbs and joints all the way so you're getting to the details of the whole figure. That's called gesture drawing. Just a very loose sketch. Show your figure. Gesture drawing is a loose form of sketching that attempts to capture your subject's basic form and express movement. Very small at the top. Leave yourself some room, just like this. Leave yourself some room for some drawings. Okay, I'll leave that for another 30 seconds to a minute. Wrap up writing your definition. Okay. Who's still writing that definition down? Still writing. Okay. 20 more seconds. Gesture drawing is a loose form of sketching that attempts to capture your subject's basic form and express movement. Okay. If you didn't get that from your neighbor. All right, I'm going to play a little video. really short. Now I want you to look at the reference this guy's trying to draw. Listen to his process. Listen to the things that go through his mind. It's a very short video, okay? So I'm just going to play this. Oh, no. I said, I know. What's this?
Hey guys, this is Matt Core from ControlPaint.com. And today we're going to talk about how to do gesture drawing using the Andrew Loomis method. So this is not my own idea, and if you want to know more about it, he's got great books that you can find at Amazon. But the basic idea is that you are going to draw a stick figure from observation using the major masses. You're going to get the spine, which is an S-curve, the angle of the hips and the shoulders, and this might be in perspective. And then you attach simple legs, arms, and head. But once you've done this, you've gotten all the critical landmarks. This is maybe a simple looking skeleton, but it really shows everything you need. And then on top of this, from your imagination, you can add the musculature. But the pose itself, the action gesture, that is the important part. And that's where the observational drawing comes in. And you can capture all this in 60 seconds, so it's very efficient. So let's go through one of these drawings and you can see how it works. And then we're going to break it down a bit on the next few run-throughs. So here we go. I'm going to start by laying in the line that determines the angle of the hips, and then also a line where his feet are going to be. And then I'm going to throw in a head real quick. But here's the S-curve that I was talking about. And this is so central to the pose. Next, I'm just going to lay in the quick legs. And even then I know something about the general proportions of the anatomy, what I'm looking at in the reference are the angles. What is the angle of the shoulders? What is the angle that the elbow makes the two parts of the arm? That's what you're looking at in your reference. And so here at slightly less than a minute, I'm essentially done. I've gotten most of the masses in place. And now, of course, I can add more musculature and whatever I can to use up the remainder of the minute. But I got a lot accomplished. So if I were to remove the reference at this point, I would then defer to my learned knowledge of anatomy. And I'll just build out the musculature on top of this scaffolding that I observed from the reference. But the beauty really is this skeleton. So let's do one more here. I'm going to start with the head. Head doesn't really need to be any particular shape, but that S-curve of the spine, that is important. The angle of the hips and the shoulders, those are important. And then you'll begin to get a sense for how the weight is carried throughout the pose. See here how the head sits between the 2 feet and makes sort of a triangle? Well, that means this character is balanced. He's not falling forward, he's not leaning backwards. And these are the kind of things you'll notice as you do more and more of these poses. But right here, I've essentially gotten all the information that I need. The rest I can do essentially from memory. Or if I had a longer time with my gesture drawing, I could use the reference to help me. But this is the important part. And here with this one, I'm using a much thicker brush, and I'm doing sort of an action line. And this is the load-bearing leg and the S-curve combined in a single stroke. So you can really do this however you like. The important part is to be able to quickly gather a certain amount of information about a pose, and then do the rest by memory. Because when you work this way, you're accomplishing a couple different goals. But one of them is teaching yourself a method, a way that you always construct characters. And what this means is that when you go to draw one completely from your imagination, you can follow the same abstraction. Because if all you ever do is carefully observe reference drawings and are very much a slave to capturing the exact contours, well, it's going to be hard when you go to draw straight from memory. But if you can abstract the character into these basic steps, starting with the skeleton and then building, well, then it's almost the same drawing it from your imagination as it is drawing it from reference. And also when you look at reference, you'll be able to imagine the construction underneath to see through the character and envision that simple skeleton. So I encourage you to go to posemaniacs.com and try out their 60-second drawings. Now it's going to default to doing 30-second drawings, which I find
That's enough. Okay. So that gesture drawing, right? We want to show the action, emotion, movement, and expression all together in one cohesive motion. Now, as you notice, that guy did that really fast, right? 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. The whole video was 5 minutes. We didn't watch the whole thing. And he did like 3 or 4 different poses. So gesture drawing, as you can see, when you start here, this only took 10 seconds. Go on to 30 seconds and 2 minutes. You're just building on top of that first gesture, that first motion. So, if you've closed your Chromebooks, I need you to open that back up because we're going to try it together. So I got this lady jogging right here. I'm going to put the timer on for 30 seconds. What you're going to do is in that box right there is start with your head, that oval, your line of action, your angle of the shoulders and hips. I'm going to put 30 seconds on and then I lock it. So, ready and go. 30 seconds. Anything you can do in those first 30 seconds in that box. The touch screen. Sorry. Pencils down. Stop. Lock. Ha. I locked it. All right, let's see how far we got. You tried? Hey, all right. I see a little bit of plotting, right, where all those action lines are. All right. Not bad for 30 seconds. Almost there. So I want you guys to focus, on getting a line here, like for the shoulders and the hips. Okay. So yeah, starting with just that basic motion. Here you can really see that nice angle of like which way she's looking at the shoulders, you got the hips, and that line of action for the legs and arms. All right. Okay. Now our next pose is 1 minute. So whatever you got done in those 30 seconds, I'm going to unlock the response. So you will be able to work for another 30 seconds. I'm going to hide these again. I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock. So this will be our 1 minute pose, 1 minute of drawing. And whoop, go. 30 seconds on the clock. Keep drawing on top of the drawing you already have. What can you get done in a whole minute? Ten seconds left.
Already? What the heck?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Don't like it.
Locked. All right. So a minute long drawing. Hey guys, see, you want to keep going on top of that drawing. I tried this with first period and I couldn't clear the responses. So I figured out I can lock it and just make you guys keep drawing for another 30 seconds because that equals a minute. Yeah. Oh. All right. So we're starting to see building up the joints, right? Shoulder, waist. Some of those things that we practiced over the last few days. A little happy face. Okay. Now, our next pose. 2 minutes. So I'm going to put a full minute on the clock. keep drawing on top of what you already have here. I'm gonna hide these. So 1 minute on the clock. Let me put that in here. And begin. Unlock. 1 minute. Keep drawing.
It doesn't fit.
All right, this is everything you can get done. And oh, out of time.
I like the special. Stop it.
And locked. See how far we got. Okay. Different colors here.
Oh, no.
Hey, okay. Here I see that you've built on more limbs. Those circles where the joints are showing the angle of motion. Nice. And see, not as far, but I can still tell where the knees are, the feet. We just really want to show that movement. We can tell that this is a person running. And notice how much you can get done in 2 minutes. Wow, even added color. Okay, so we want to spend that time just really practicing how to look at something and where to begin. Nice. Oh, color. Okay. All right. Now, okay. Here's where it gets interesting. Underneath your gesture drawing definition, you are going to do 3 gesture drawings. We're going to have a 20-second pose, and 20 seconds. A 40-second pose. We're going to do another pose that goes for 2 minutes. Okay?
Are you doing pose?
No.
You gonna be the model?
We're going to use this video. So this guy has a bunch of different poses. So I'm going to leave it to you how many you want to do, but you need at least 3. So I'll let you know how many we've got. The first few are going to be 20 seconds. If you just want to watch and listen for the first pose, soak it all in, that's okay. I think there are 2 or 3 20-second poses in here. So it's up to you which one you want to do, and you can do more than that if you want. But ultimately, I want a 20-second pose, a 40-second pose, and a 2-minute pose. Okay? So I'm going to start it now. And please label those on your page. Yes? So with gesture drawing, it's really free form. So you can do them smaller. Just think about getting that sketch and doing 3 on the same page is fine. If you carry on to the other side of the page, that's good too. It's great practice. Gesture drawing is all about movement and, excitement and showing action. So, just fitting them all on the page as they fit together, that's okay, all right? So I'm going to start this. Now you can either draw the first one or just listen in.
When I was a student, I'd write long essays that I'd work on for days. But now, I'm writing.
Hey everybody, if you're wondering how you can get better at drawing a human figure, we're going to be doing some gesture drawings today with timed poses. So the first set will be 20 seconds for each pose, second set will be 40 seconds, and in between, we'll have little breaks where I'll give you guys tips and techniques to help. And you may be wondering, how can I finish a drawing that fast, 20 seconds? Well, let me show you with a quick demo. All right, here we go, 20 seconds on the clock. Let's go. 20 seconds, you only have time to draw what is most important to the pose. I mean, angles, motion, and flow. No time for details. You have to think, what few lines can I use to describe what this pose is? And that's what gesture drawing is all about. So for this pose, main thing I was thinking about
Right, if you didn't
was
do that one,
first,
you can
this
do your
side
20-second
of
pose
pose
on
is
the
very
next
straight. This
photo.
side comes out like this. There's a curve for her arm, and then you got this kind of angle for her other arm. That's pretty much it for the pose. All right, you guys ready? We got 20 seconds. I will do a bunch of poses before we stop and take a break, just to kind of get
20
into the flow, all right?
seconds.
So 20 seconds. Here's the next pose. Let's go.
Alright, in your sketchbook, 20-second pose.
Oh, wait, I thought we were.
Everything you can get done in 20 seconds.
That was the first one. All right, first gesture drawing. Get a new piece of paper. All right, let's keep it going. And I'll put this image up and give you guys just a brief moment to kind of see the pose and get kind of your strategy down.
If you haven't drawn a 20-second one yet, this is your chance.
Now it's there.
Ready, set, go.
At least one 20-second pose. When you have it, label it.
How do we label it?
Okay. So your 20-second pose, I want you to write down 20 seconds next to it. If you have more than one, label all of them so I can see how long it took you to get there. Now I'm going to skip ahead to the 40-second poses. And there's going to be 1, 2. All right. I'm going to show 3 40-second poses. Now you only have to draw one. You can draw all of them, okay? As many as you can fit on your page. But I want to see a 20-second, a 40-second, and then at the end I'll pause it for longer so we can do a 2-minute. Ready to go?
Yes.
Almost. All right, let's start here.
Next pose. All right, ready, set, go.
Don't be worried about finishing. Get all of those main movements, the head, the line of action, the direction of the limbs. All the big details. 17 seconds left.
All right, first 40-second pose. Let's do another one. Keep going. Here we go. It's an interesting one. All right, ready, set, go.
Okay, gonna show 2 more of these.
That one was like quick.
Okay, last 40-second pose. If you haven't already drawn one of
All right,
these.
ready, set, go.
Oh, Look at the photo. Don't just follow his drawing, look at the photo. Look for those lines of action. All right, we have just enough time to all do the 2-minute pose at the same time together. He's gonna set his timer for 40 seconds. I'm gonna put you guys at 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
So everyone is doing this together.
Did you start it?
2 minutes. Ready and begin. Everyone's doing this one, a 2-minute gesture drawing, and
Catch
go.
fast. Ready, set, go.
I'll pause it when those 40 seconds are up. 2 minutes. Get as much information down as you can. Okay, I'm pausing. You guys have 1 minute and 12 seconds. Keep going until the buzzer goes. And 60 seconds left to go. As much information as you can. Look at the photo, not his drawing. Keep going. Twenty seconds. 10 seconds left. Bless you. 3, 2, 1. Pencils down. All right. Well done, everybody. So next to that last pose, I want you to write down 2 minutes. Next to your 2-minute pose. Now make sure on those other poses you're writing down how long they were. Your 20-second poses, your 40-second poses. Nicely done.
Oh, that's it.
It is fun, huh?
Wait, this is for the
Yes, I love gesture drawing. Maybe not the whole year. All right. Cool. Let me stop recording. So I'll post the Pear Deck to Google Classroom in case you guys missed anything.